Hi, everyone. My name is Lacee Wilkey. I'm a lecturer in the School of Accountancy at the Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm also a CPA, and I've been doing tax work and tax consulting for individuals and closely held businesses for many years. So I realized that filing your taxes for the first time may feel intimidating, but it's not as bad as it seems. And it's a skill that will serve you for the rest of your life. I promise you, you can do it. So as a student, this may be your first time dealing with your own taxes. So today I'm going to show you, break down the process a little bit. What are some basics you need to know, and how do you go about filing a tax return for the first time? So we'll walk through what documents do I need? What is the process for filing this? And the all-beloved question, what if I do something wrong? So documents that you might need. One, you're going to need a social security number. All tax returns require that, or a tax ID number to file. You will need bank statements, potentially report some interest income, but mainly you want your bank account number so that if you are due a refund, that you can have that direct deposited into your bank account. Very common form that most people have is a Form W-2. If you worked a job at all during the year as an employee, you will receive a W-2 form reporting total wages for the year and any potential tax withholdings. You may have multiple Form W-2 if you have worked multiple jobs during the year. 1099 forms are also very common. If you are self-employed, a freelancer, an independent contractor, or you've had something like stock sales, a brokerage account, you earn some dividends, all of those come on different types of Forms 1099. The final one that's very common for students is the Form 1098-T. And you'll receive this if you have higher education expenses that you are paying for. So as a college student, you'll receive a form that reports the expenses that you had during the year and then any scholarships or grants that you received for those. And you may be eligible for some tax credits due to those expenses. So before you even start, check your mailbox, check your email, check your online accounts for any of these forms. Employers and financial institutions usually send them out by the end of January. So early February, you can start looking for those just to make sure you have them all before you start filing. So here's the process. Now that I have my documents, what do I do next? Now, the tax filing process can seem a bit daunting. And as you can see on the left here, this is often what people think the tax filing looks like. And it does. This is the form that you will file. But we just see a bunch of blank lines, blank boxes, questions that need to be answered, things that need to be checked. All the while with this concern in the back of our head that if we check something wrong, we're going to go to prison. But that's not actually the case. What you see on the right there is an example of tax software that helps walk you through the filing process and helps you actually fill out this form. But it's done in more of a questionnaire type format, making it much more simple for you to file your tax return. So the first step in the process here is to determine your filing method. What do you want to use to file your tax return? You can use a software like the IRS free file system that you see here on the right. You could use a TurboTax, H&R Block. You could hire a professional or even print out forms online from the IRS website and do it by hand. Now, for most students, tax software is going to be the easiest option, and you can often find it for free. A simple internet search will show you many of your software options that you can then select from. So once you've determined what software you're going to use, then you just go through the process, answer the questions, and fill out the appropriate information as needed. So it will walk you through, ask you certain questions if you have certain types of income or deductions and things that might be applicable to you. And then it will tell you how to fill them out based on the tax forms that you received for the year. Now, an important step here is to double check everything. So double check your name. Make sure you spelled it right. Double check that you typed in your social security number accurately. Having typos and things like that can potentially result to a rejected return when you file it, meaning it won't go through the processing system, or a delay in processing. And then additionally, check the numbers on your W-2, double check any of the other numbers that you reported, because you want to make sure that you're reporting it accurately. So just double check to make sure we don't have any errors there. And then remember, your tax return is due by April 15th unless you file an extension. So the question then is, what if I do something wrong? I'm not a tax expert. I'm filing my tax return for the first time. What if I don't do it right? Well, thankfully, that's okay. Mistakes happen. If you realize you made a mistake, you can file an amended tax return using Form 1040X. So the IRS won't throw you in prison for making an honest mistake. However, they will if you have fraudulent intent. So we don't want to file a fraudulent tax return. But for honest mistakes, yes, you'll need to correct them, but you will not go to jail for a simple mistake like that. But nonetheless, we want to try to avoid those errors to begin with, right? And so to do that, double check your work. Using a software is going to help you make sure you're catching things you maybe didn't know about, didn't know you should report or how to report them. And tax software often asks you questions and helps flag potential issues for you that kind of can prevent these situations as well. But in the end, if you're really confused, you're worried as you're preparing your tax return, reach out to a tax professional. You can also go to the IRS website. It has some resources specifically for first-time filers that can help. So here are a couple resources here for you if you would like additional information or have more questions. And it includes a link to the VITA program provided by the Huntsman School of Business, where volunteers help prepare tax returns for low-income individuals, like students, for free. So filing your tax return for the first time might feel like learning a new language, but like anything new, it gets easier with practice. So you can think of it this way. This is your chance to claim any refunds you're owed, build financial responsibility, and develop a life skill. And if you're using a tax software, it's almost like answering a questionnaire. It's built to make it simple for you. So you've got this. Take your time, stay organized, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it.